Good morning, and Steve here. And so right off the bat, let's just state out loud, I connect with my deep self. I ground myself to the healing power of the planet. I open myself to the healing power of the One. I choose to work with the hot doors. Anything that's not useful to me, I release from my field now. Sometimes those words, anything not useful to me or anything not in my highest good, I release from my field now, can produce some really rapid changes at times. So today I pulled the cards, and for the past I got the Peace card, which is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords represents peace of mind. The swords relate to our mental constructs. The cups relate to our emotional constructs. And wands relate to our creativity. And the discs relate to our possessions. So the swords relating to the mind, it represents peace of mind. And one, I think, is useful to each of us to ask, and you can notice when you ask yourself what it is that provides peace inside that affects us on physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels. What is it that we do that that brings that peace? And is peace something that is inside us? So when I state out loud, I connect to my deep self. I feel a peace that begins flowing through me. And that is the fastest way to me to a state of peace. But I notice today, when I came out of the dream world, I was in a state of energetic agitation. And that energetic agitation was in my chest. And I was just feeling this agitation. And it was suggested to me by the hot doors that it would be useful to bring some sounds through to release that energetic agitation, which I would have probably described as a feeling of deep grief. And so I made a video with the hot doors, and I made it outside and pointed the camera towards the mountains and the water, and just made the sounds, and it actually shifted things for me. And I was really thinking about how much our internal world influences our external world. So you can maybe think about a time where you were triggered and you were like into the story, and you were like, and then they said this, and I can't believe they said this. And then there's all these emotions, but the telling of the story is just kind of using your paintbrush to paint your world with your stuff that's coming up. So you're just smearing it all over. You're smearing it on the person you told it to. And it's just like, ugh, I need to tell the story, and you basically put that stuff on the person you're telling the story to. And if they're kind, if they're kind, they'll say, I don't know. I don't know. Making it up. But they'll clean themselves up afterwards. And if you've been a useful person in their life, a person who they see with value, they value you in their life, then they'll let you do this. They may attempt to help you to actually release those energies rather than kind of spew them. But we've all probably been spewers, and we all probably know spewers. And when we get the card of what we've been working with in the past is coming into a place of peace of mind, I think it's a really good thing if you have just a few minutes to just focus your attention on your relationship to your deep self and see if you go into your deep self if you don't just feel that peace of the deep self. This is the choice or decision made in the mind that generates the quality of peace, satisfaction, and clarity. The 4 pinwheels in the back of the card indicate that there is resolution or peace of mind that pervades all level of consciousness, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. Peace that is experienced pervasively throughout the system. That sounds like some good peace. And then for the present, we got victory. The 6 of Wands. And the 6 of Wands is about our creativity. And the 6 of Wands represents the quality of victory. This is the experience of a deep victory or win that touches you at an intuitive and spiritual level. So currently, we're working with this feeling of being victorious on a spiritual and intuitive level. And that, to me, can only come from the heart. I mean, I don't want to limit it, so maybe it can come from everywhere. Maybe it comes from everywhere, this feeling of victory. But oftentimes when I feel like a spiritual and intuitive victory, it feels like it comes from my heart, that it warms my heart, that I feel like what has taken place has been a victory for both myself and the person in the situation. So a victory that is a win-win allows for mutual unfolding and opening, and allows for new energy and revitalization, which is represented by the ibis heads or the phoenix heads. Victory allows for clarity of vision and creative expression, which is symbolized by the winged eye of Horus. Spiritual victory is experienced at all 4 levels of consciousness. So that's what we're working with currently, is victory. And what this leads to is the 10 of Cups, cups being emotion, and the word associated with this is satiety, satiation, enough. The 10 of Cups is satiety, or emotional contentment, and this is what we're moving into in the future, which is coming right up. Okay, we're in the future now, and then or in the future, now. Okay. Emotional contentment and satisfaction, satiety. This is a state of emotional contentment that comes from deep within and radiates out in all aspects of your life, which is represented by the 10 cups on the Kabbalah or Tree of Life. This is satisfaction or contentment that is coming from within the cups and radiating out. 10 of Cups is deep emotional contentment and satisfaction that comes from within and externally radiates the quality of contentment and satisfaction. I was having a really good conversation this morning about how we experience the world when we're triggered. So, being triggered means that someone has done something, said something, looked like something that has caused a strong emotional response. And it could just be a vibration. So we could just walk into a room and feel a strong emotional response. And that could be triggering. And so when we are triggered, if what we do with it is tell our story and dump the emotions out, maybe on someone else, nothing is healed from the original event where the emotions reside. The only thing that really changes that, and if you want change, this is how to have it in relationship to if you tell the same story over and over again. Here's what you can do. When you're triggered, you can stop and just do something simple like say, I feel triggered. And then watch what the story comes out. Well, this person, they shouldn't have done that, blah, 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 blah. And then you got this story going, but you don't do the story. You possibly say, I connect to my deep self, where peace and calm resides. And when I reside in my deep self, I reside in peace and calm. Then this story can still be there with the emotions that are still there. And we're just noticing, oh, story, emotions. We're noticing them from a place of deep peace. And then we separate the story and the emotions at a certain point, at a certain distance apart. You feel them separate, and you release the emotions. You release the story. And then you may find yourself in a place of peace. You may feel a feeling of being victorious because you came into the situation in a new way, which left you and another feeling like you had a win-win. I'm going to say this because I've been thinking about it and because I think it's, in my thinking, it's really useful. The world outside of us, if there are those who are trying to change that world outside of us, but not doing much work inside of us, the way we perceive the world is out of our insides, possibly creating this world. It definitely creates our experience of this world. So when we're triggered, we lose the world that we were in prior to being triggered, and then we're in a different world based on the emotions of the triggering. And it may be that those held vibrations of unresolved events are what are creating the world we're continually walking into. If that is true, then my suggestion, and I'm being very upfront about this, it's a suggestion, is to, before you go out and attempt to change the world, go inside and find out if there's anything that would be useful for you to release from inside yourself, and then release it. And this tool of feeling the energy, feeling the story, letting them really be there, the story and the energy, they're really there, and we connect with our deep self, and we feel them really there, but we don't feel in them. And then we just move them apart until we feel them separate. We release the emotions, we release the story. Okay, that's the story. And today feels like a day that each of us could have an intuitive and spiritual victory as we begin to trust ourselves, as we begin to more fully embrace ourselves as our deep self, as the peace that we were looking for. The missing piece was inside us all along. This might be the Holy Grail. So here we are, alone together again. And may this be a lovely, lovely day for you. And may we all just, if it seems right, just focus on the peace within and let that peace just flow through our systems. Okay, that should do it for now. Namaste.